Greetings in the name of Yahuwah and His Son Yahushua Mashiach. My name is Malak Shalomo. Today is the 10th of September 2024. It's 11:59 a.m. Eastern Time. And I'm going to just do a little trade recap here. It's a live trade I have on Usdjpy. And someone in my comments previously asked me to do some more on Forex. So I forgot the person's name, but this one is definitely just for you because no one has ever asked me to really do any videos. No one has ever made a request. So I'm gonna try and look for your name and probably try and add you in the title of the video as well. So let's start off here with the US dollar chart on the 1 hour. And let me just take off some of these levels here so I could kind of break down one by one what these indicators are. And let me see here, just make sure this is set to the right. All right, set to the right time. All right, 1 second. All right, the beginning of this week. So I'm just anchoring these VWAP bands, upper deviations and lower deviations, to the beginning of this week's session, which is Sunday, the 8th of September. And actually it's at 1700 instead of 18. So pardon me here while I just do a little setting up of the VWAP bands. All right, so they're anchored to the beginning of the week session here, and we have the TPO. We have some single prints down here. This is the US dollar, so the US dollar has run into the first upper deviation band, second upper deviation band here. So let me just point that out. Firstly, we ran into this second upper deviation here on the VWAP, got resistance, pulled back to VWAP. We pushed above, created a, well, it's not really a lower high, but we didn't get up to the second upper deviation on the next push up in price. Came back down to the VWAP bands, and then we came back down to VWAP. Then we came back up here to +1 VWAP, and we got this double top right here. So now we're pulling back to VWAP. May get some buyers here again, but let me just set an alert here because that could affect my trade when we come down to this VWAP level here for the US dollar. Because right now I'm trading USDJPY. I'm short USDJPY. So as the US dollar pulls back, it's causing the USDJPY to go down. So we have these single prints here at and this is the Dow Jones FXCM dollar index. You see where my cursor is. This is not the DXY. This is a more comprehensive weighted currency pairs against the US dollar. So the Dixie is kind of like a outdated weighting of like the odd, the Aussie dollar and GPY weighted against the US dollar. So this is a more comprehensive updated version of the DXY, right? So that's why we have numbers like 12,797. Current price is 12,791, right? So as you see, the US dollar now is pulling back to anchored VWAP from the beginning of the week session. The POC here is on the market profile is roughly 12,789. We're just above that. So we're kind of in the POC zone right now, right? So let's take that off and let's look at the central pivots. So we have the central pivots down here. From the beginning of the session on the US dollar, we pushed up off of the central pivot. So that was nice and bullish. We start creating this bull flag right now, and possibly we could get a breakdown here. So as you see, the US dollar is popping up a little bit. That could be affecting my trade right now. So I might have to do some management on that. So central pivots down here at 12,759. So we had a nice bullish push off from the central pivot, right? You see, we interacted with the central pivot twice and we got the push off, right? And this was actually like a bowling green strategy here on the second lower deviation, break above the first lower deviation to get a buy trade and a long trade right there for a reversal. So that could have been a nice swing on one of these weak pairs against the US dollar. All right, so let's go over here to the Camarilla pivots. So the Camarilla pivots, we have Camarilla R3 here at it's roughly at current price right now at 12,007, probably 790, right? So that's Camarilla R3 right there, or 792, right? So that red line right there, that's Camarilla R3 providing resistance. You see the bull flag is rotating around Camarilla R3, and that's the pivot level on the cams that's affecting price right now. Let me just pull back a little bit here. Camarilla S3 is all the way down here, right, at 12,737. So we have this initial bullish activity on the US dollar pushing up, bull flag. Possibly we creating these, let's see here. We creating these higher lows so far. That was bad right there. Let's see if we could do that again. Right. So we're creating these higher lows so far. If this is a support level and we don't break that down, we're probably gonna start going bullish on the US dollar again. So let me just go over to the JPY basket. That's the yen. So on the weekly chart, we have the yen pushing off of the top central pivot right there. We have the POC currently at around 6,942. We had strong buying coming in there. We pushed up here now. We have a single print formed on the market profile TPO at 7,033. So again, this is the FXCM yen index, and you can see that's the ticker right there, JPY basket, right? So if you want to incorporate that as a chart to look at the JPY, if it's FXCM yen index basket, right? So that's the ticker right there. Let me see if I could pull that up. Right. So that's the ticker right there, right? Let me go over to the US dollar. If you want to look at the US dollar, that's the US dollar ticker right there, right? So JPY looking really strong. I'm not gonna, with the strength right now, it could probably get a little pullback. So I may want to swing trade this USD JPY trade. Do I have these anchored VWAPs in the proper place? Probably not. And I need to adjust the time. Something's up with the time right here. It keeps moving around, and it's not staying set to the New York time that I'm in, time zone that I'm in. I don't know what's happening with that right there. Right, so let me set these VWAPs here to the beginning of the session for the week. Right, so we up here at the third upper deviation, so we could see a little pullback right here at this resistance level on the upper deviations, right? So currently very strong buying. We have nice volume going into it, right? Volume is rising. Now on this pullback here, we have actually we have an anomaly right here. So let me just point that out. So right now we have a pullback in volume and a very wide candle. So I'm probably gonna have to start managing this USD JPY trade. So let's jump across here to the pair, right? So let's set this up properly. Right, I believe that's set up properly on the time. Right, very good. Let's set up the VWAP bands properly as well. That's 8 o'clock. That's supposed to be 17. Sorry, not 8 o'clock on the 8th. And that's 1700 hours open time. And same thing over here for the third lower deviations. All right. So we have a golden pivot zone here. This is Camarilla R3 and the central pivot, right? So the Camarilla R3 is the red line right there. The blue line, horizontal line, is central pivot. We have a golden pivot zone. We have two rejections off of that area and that zone, and we're getting nice selling right now on USDJPY. We broke down from the first lower deviation, strong selling, strong selling. We have good volume coming in here. We have less volume on this one, so probably a little buying coming in right there on this breakdown. Probably a stop run. So all who bought from here probably put their stops around here. So we got a nice sweep down on the stops. My take profit is yesterday's low, and I only went like what two micro lots on that, right? So I don't really trade anything big in forex. It's a really small account, and I just keep it because it was one of the first instruments I started trading before stocks. So I started trading forex, then stocks, then now I'm trading futures and stuff. So this account isn't big at all. So I just trade really small, right? So, well, maybe after a while I'll start adding to this account and start trading a little bigger. So let's see here. Right, so we have this resistance here. Trying to target what is it? 141.964 yesterday's low. Right, so that's my take profit right there, 141.964. And I believe yesterday's low is 141.956. So yeah, it's just above yesterday's low. So let me go down to the 5-minute chart and let's see where we got some entries, what kind of setup it was looking like. Right, so my entry here was a break and retest. All right, let me just fix these. Right, so those are VWAP bands. These are lower deviations here below VWAP. This is a VWAP anchored from, let's see. This is anchored from from what time? Wait. Let's make sure this time is correct. New York time. All right, good. So I have a bunch of different anchors here. So let me just explain that, right? So from the beginning of the session, we have these red deviations that's anchored from the beginning of the session yesterday at 1700 hours. And this right here is the market profile and the volume profile combined, right? So I know it's kind of messy, right? So this right here is the anchored from the London session. We have that at 3 a.m., right? So these purple bands are anchored from London session open. And then I have anchored from the cash open here, the forex market open at 8 a.m. New York time, right? Eastern time. So those are the yellow bands, right? And right here we have the entry of, this is a breakdown or a retest of this first lower deviation band, this yellow band right here. Let me just use this arrow, right? So that yellow band right there, that's a breakdown, retest, went short, right? Short is at 142.730 and it just broke down from there. This is Camarilla S3. It was supposed to provide support, but given the weakness and the setup of the US dollar versus the Japanese yen, with the US dollar losing strength right now, I decided to opt for not a reversal, but I call this a 360 fire strategy, right? So it's basically like a retest of these first lower deviations from a breakdown. Test these first lower deviations, can get a reversal above those levels, and you get the short continuation, right? So usually within these short trends, you get these reversals back to these first lower deviations, and then it breaks down. It's just like how it's setting up here. You get a touch of these second lower deviations, it bounces back to first lower deviation, comes back down to second lower deviation, and you might get a reversal here back up to test this single print right here. So right now I'm thinking about probably closing this trade or probably just trailing my stop a little bit. So let's see, I could trail my stop to cover around $5 right there. Although that spread might take me out before that. So let me just put that up to 142,411, right? So let me see what's going on here because we have a little strength, I think, coming in the US dollar, right? So we have that little pop-up right there. This is the 1 hour bar. So you see we're creating kind of like a double bottom on these 2 hour bars here, 1 hour here, and you can see as well that the selling volume has dried up a little bit compared to this one, right? And we have a wider bar. So that's a little anomaly right there, right? And we have the JPY up at a resistance level and possibly start retracing some of that gain. So you know what? And I'm gonna take my profit right there because everything is setting up now for a reversal. So just took profits here at let's see, what is it? 142.372. So yeah, that was the trade right there, man. It was a 360 fire strategy, retest of this first lower deviation, caught the short right there and took it down until we started seeing signs of reversal. And this is also Camaria S4, which is a notorious support level. So we had buyers coming just above there and they're looking to get the continuation. You see we're breaking above this level right here, the top of that level. So it makes no sense for me to stay in that trade. Might as well just wait until we retest the single print from the market profile, and it also lines up with the first lower deviation again, right? So best to take profit, let the setup reestablish itself, see some rejection here again, and could possibly take it back down, right? So that's my sell on Usdjpy. I think I netted like about, I think $5 or something like that on that trade. It was 2 micro lots, and yeah, that's my forex trade, man. All right, y'all. So it's Malak Shalomo. I might do a recap here on my trade on ES. It wasn't that great though. I did make a lot of profit, but it was a tricky kind of trade. It wasn't really a proper setup um compared to, well, it wasn't one of my strategies. Basically, I was reading order flow and it kind of made sense to go short. So I went short on the ES in the early session, the session open, and we got some profit off of that. Anyway, it's Malak Shalomo, and you all trade safe and stay blessed. I hope I forgot the guy's name, but whoever requested the Forex video, I hope you see this video and I hope it was helpful. All right, y'all. Trade safe and stay blessed.